Hello students, in your D.Sc paper for 5th sem honors and regular, we have given the papers analytical methods in chemistry. Here there are some important topics. Today I am going to discuss one important topic, which is the statistical test of data. For analytical methods in chemistry, we deal with the different data set. If in a data set we see a value which is too low or too high from the rest of the data, so by the Q test we can determine whether we can reject or accept the outlier. The suspected data which is too low or too high is called outlier. This outlier can be rejected or accepted by using a formula from the Dickson Q test. In the Dickson Q test, the experimental Q value can be determined with the help of dividing gap by the range. Gap means the difference between the nearest value of the outlier with the outlier, and range is the difference between the highest value in a data set from the lowest value. Now this value is compared with the tabulated value, which is the critical value of Q at different confidence level. If the dataset are given in the 95% confidence level, then the value of outlier is compared with that value or critical value in the same confidence level and the same number of replicate measurement. Now I will give one appropriate example to explain the Q test. Hello students, from my lecture you have understood that outliers are the results that appear in the dataset whose values distinctly differ from all other data in a set of replicate measurements. Dickson's Q test, or simply Q test, is used for identification and rejection of outliers, which is defined as follows. Q experimental Q value is equal to X suspect minus X nearest divided by W. Here this is the suspected value, which may be too low or too high from the rest of the data in a data set. This is the nearest data to the suspected data. This is the gap between the highest value of data with the lowest value of data. Now again the positive and negative sign is totally ignored while calculating Q value. If in a 95% confidence level we have to calculate outliers in the data set in which the sample size is n equal 8. This is sample size. Here these are the different data in a data set. That means at first, to calculate the Q value, we have to arrange the data in the ascending order. That means lowest value to highest value. Then we have seen that this is the suspected value. That means this may be this is too low value from the other data in the set. That experimental Q value can be calculated by this formula, where the nearest value of these two is this from this, and this is the gap. This is the highest value, this is the lowest value, this is the difference. Now we get the 0.302. Now we have to see in the tabulated value, that means at 95% level, and in sample size 8, we see that means the Q critical value, this is the Q critical value is 0.526, which is higher than our 0.302. that means 0.302 I have calculated the Q value. So when the Q experimental value is lower than the Q critical value, then the outlier cannot be rejected. That means we have selected this as the outlier, so it cannot be rejected from the other dataset. This is all about the Q test. Thank you.